It is not one path that takes us to the top of a mountain. There are infinite ways up. And sometimes the easiest path for one person might be too easy for someone else, and it might be too hard for someone else. But at the end of the day, we all carve our own path. There is no footprints that we can follow. And there's a saying that when the seeker is ready, the teacher appears. And I think that that could even be teachers, or even our own inner calling. This universe is designed for our awakening. And so, as long as you are seeking that awakening, the path will appear. For most of my life, I spent it outwardly, thinking that if I just had enough pleasure, that I would be happy, that I would find a way to make it through some of the burdens of being alive. It was only when I had met a man by accident who showed me how to see through that endless chase for more. How to turn inward, to face any trauma and challenges, and to begin to heal what I didn't even know needed healing. And that accidental encounter led to a 15-year journey within, to find out who I was beneath my past, my conditioning, and my culture. Beyond my name and my body. And over the course of this video, I will be sharing everything I learned on this journey. Because when everybody lives in balance and harmony within themselves, we will be able to live in balance and harmony with this planet. For most people, we exist in this society that tells us that there is a best. We want to stay at the best hotel, we want to go to the best spot, we want to eat at the best restaurants, the best food. Everywhere you look, on every commercial, their product's the best. You'll be miserable with the other product. And we begin to internalize that there's the best decision and every other decision must be the wrong decision. But this is not the case. Every choice we make is the best choice because it's the choice we made. It may come with regret. It may come with a feeling of mistake and failure, but that is not bad. In fact, that was super necessary to learn, grow, and evolve. Everything that happens, every mistake I make in my personal life, which there have been plenty, I'm sure, is I welcome it as the universe showing and teaching me something that I desperately needed to learn. Sometimes we may be late for something important and we may really get angry that we are going to be late or miss it. But if we had left on time, we could have been in a car accident. A devastating event could have happened that we actually avoided. We just have a limited, narrow perspective that prevents us from seeing what might or could have happened. The idea of a detour is a fiction that the human mind creates because the mind imagined the future to be a certain way. It had plans, and when things don't go to plan, we call it a detour. But in this world that has really figured out everything so perfectly, and everything lives in perfect balance, our lives are governed by these same laws of existence. And so instead of dwelling on any detour, instead of getting frustrated about any setback, we can be grateful that something worse didn't happen, that our limited perspective may be shielding us from seeing some deeper truth, and we can simply be aware of the infinite watch piece parts that are keeping this earth rotating like clockwork, and to choose to have faith in this magical universe with birds, trees, and fruits and puppy dogs that it knows what it's doing, and that this is the best possible reality. We live in a world where planets collide sometimes and stars explode. But within that process gave rise to life on Earth and to every beautiful and precious experience we've ever had. And so whatever is going on in your life, it cannot be so bad that we fail to lose that beauty and preciousness of life. Sometimes all we have to do is to simply take a step back and look at that bigger picture so that that experience does not seem so big. The heart always knows. The mind only thinks. When we think, we literally point to our head and we, scratch our head and go up here. But when we are feeling, it's in the heart. It is an openness that we can sense. And so whatever opens your heart, follow that. Really, the first step, or maybe the second step of the spiritual journey, should be called false enlightenment. We have a moment of no thought, and we're sure that we're enlightened, and then someone scratches our car, and, the old self comes back out. So there is no point to compare to anybody else. Everybody starts at a different place. Everybody will finish at a different place. It is not where we are or where we hope to get to that even matter. It is simply taking one step at a time. We all have this moment right here in front of us. The world appears different to every single one of us. It radiates out from our center of consciousness, and we create our own reality. The more we obsess about other people's realities, the less we cherish and appreciate our own. Life on this planet is our testing ground. And the mistakes and failures are simply the realignment of our path, redirecting us towards growth, strength, peace, and happiness. When I decided to leave the country and go off to India and Asia and South America to learn about spirituality, some people thought I was crazy. I thought I would have to work about 2 jobs for a year and then I'd be ready to go, but it took about 2 years, and everyone thought I was lying and gonna chicken out after a year of talking about it and then still not going. But I stuck to what I knew I had to do. And I did it with wisdom in that I made sure that I saved up enough, that all my affairs were in order, that I wasn't neglecting anyone or anything. And then I was able to go, knowing that maybe nothing happens, but I would rather live this short life exploring that possibility than to never know. And so, with a bit of preparation, with a little bit of safety and wisdom, we can follow our path, no matter what anyone else thinks. So the way we can really trust that pull that we all feel is to reflect, meditate, prepare, and to do so mindfully and thoughtfully. Because sometimes our loved ones are just looking out for us, and they do have our best intentions at heart. But sometimes they know what's best for them, and they project it onto us. And only we can truly know what is right for ourselves. Growth and wisdom come from within, not from external sources. A helicopter can drop you off at the top of a mountain, but you will not have gained strength, discipline, perseverance, or even the feeling of accomplishment. When we go on our spiritual quest, there may be people out there who ask you to forego your common sense, to give your power of reasoning and choice over to the self-proclaimed master. And we need to maintain a balance between openness to new possibilities, to new ideas. But we must also stay open to what feels right and true to ourselves. This is how we can avoid one of the most common spiritual traps, which is people giving over their power of decision and autonomy to some guru. Because when you give your power away, you only make them stronger. And we must never forget that we are our own gurus, that we all can be at the top of the mountain. It does not have to be a hierarchy of humans. We are all infinitely magical beings. And when we realize our infinite nature, in infinity, there is no hierarchy. There is no ranking. There is no superiors and inferiors. There is just the infinite oneness where all things are possible. There is no ceiling that blocks us from reaching a higher place. We can all become the masters of our mind, of our words, thoughts, and actions, all to serve the highest good of peace, love, and happiness. It's very tempting when we are feeling lost to seek out a book or a teacher who can give us all the answers. But there is nothing magical about these teachers or writers that we don't also possess. We all have access to the infinite wisdom of this universe. Just like every cell in our body knows exactly what to do to keep these bodies alive and thriving, we have every answer we need within us. If we are not in tune with the universe around us, we could hear a perfect teaching and not understand it, as if we were watching a foreign film without subtitles. So it is not the teachers and books, which can be very helpful pointers, but it always comes down to how we incorporate those teachings and how we allow them to change our life. Because otherwise, no teaching will change our life. And so it is always that intelligence within that will recognize that the words are not the truth. They can only point to the truth. And sometimes we have to put down those books and turn within to find them. So often, our egos crave the acceptance and approval of others. And it never asks if these people are living the lives we want, if they are truly happy, or if they are lost themselves in the duality of approval and disapproval. It is only an egoic chase that will bring us no true positive benefit to get that approval from others. The only validation we need is our own, and it comes from following our intuition, our hearts, and our guts. Whether you are new to spirituality or you've been on the path for a long time, this book, Aloneness to Oneness, 22 Life Lessons to Change the Way You See the World, is for you. It encapsulates all of the teachings, wisdom, and insights I gained on my 9-year journey living in ashrams and monasteries with gurus, monks, and shamans around the world. And if you would like to explore in more depth the topics I bring up in the film Aloneness to Oneness, this book is for you. All of the profits will go to a nonprofit organization dedicated to making sure that these life-changing and healing teachings are available to every single person on the planet. And thanks to your generous support already, these books can be found in prisons across the United States. We will be working to continue getting these books into the hands of people who need it so that everybody can have the path to healing and self-actualization for themselves, their communities, and our planet.